And we're live. I think we're live, although I'm looking at YouTube and I'm not getting anything. Are you getting anything?
YouTube's running your intro still.
Oh, happy days, yeah, because it was having problems earlier. I was trying to watch videos and it was cutting out on me, but at least it's working now. Happy days. So,
it is.
Tonight we have John, the Messenger Reveals returns. We had this planned anyway. With the whole situation that's going on, I thought it would be good that we could talk about the response culture, back and forth, and why people do it, the pros, the cons, and who better to get on than someone involved in something like that at the minute. So, John, that is you, yeah.
Well, thanks for inviting me back. You know, despite the wake of I don't know, fallout in the community over all this. So I'm here to share my viewpoints, to give my opinions, to hear other people's, consider what they have to say, and also, you know, put myself up against the firing squad, whether that be you or others that you bring into the after party. Everybody can ask their questions, and you know, as most people know, I answer authentically and genuinely, even when it's not well received or liked.
Well, just for the audience's benefit, I was in John's premiere earlier of his his apology, which I would say was a big fuck you, but it was an apology. And I promised Nakasuchi and I promised Shay the invite. They have been sent that. Shay has been sent it on Twitter and Nakasuchi on Discord. So they both have the opportunity. Nakasuchi did mention earlier on his stream that these conversations are going on and he's not being invited to them. People are talking about him behind his back. I don't do that. So I told him this was happening and I sent him the invite. So
that's fair.
I can't be more fair than that.
I mean, my grandma used to say fair is where you go to get cotton candy, but you know,
no.
As far as being charitable or equitable, you've done it.
Well, you know, that you don't need to blow smoke up my ass. You're already on the channel, all right? You're already here. Right, well, response culture, man, back and forth. That video today was clearly a response to what's happening.
Well, I mean, I let this 2 service videos go way too long, you know, either because of family commitments or because of stuff that was going on between myself, Patrick, and another guy who was starting up Reality Unplugged. Stuff that was, you know, me getting sick for 6 weeks with bronchitis over the Christmas break and then well into January. So I just didn't get around to making time for those things. I'm a busy person. YouTube's not my life. YouTube's a part-time job, part-time hobby, part-time interaction with human beings. So, you know, here we are, you know, and now this is like the 4th negative response video attacking my character. So I had to give a response, and I'm like, I'll at least make a little, hey, here's what I think about it, and here's why, and here's what's coming. And now, because I've done that, these response videos are coming. What order I do them in, still not sure, but I'm going to cover all 4 of their videos, the 2 on Nox channel and the 2 on Services channel. And I'm not going to be nice to people who are disingenuous. I'm not going to be nice to people who aren't responding in a way that's charitable. I didn't get invited to any of those streams to defend myself. So when they cry and bitch that they don't get to do those things, I'm like, please give me a break. You know, people saying they've been invited to their channels, not true. So there's just a lot of things like that. Yeah. I'll bring receipts because they want receipts, but they know who they are and they know what they've said that's untrue. But we're in a response culture. When somebody says something about us, we feel the need to stand up for ourselves, to respond.
People do. You want to stand up for yourself and all that there. But when I talk about response culture, I'm specifically making reference to the internet. In all honesty, you released that video today. It was called an apology. There was a little tiny apology in it. It was mainly a fuck you, and you did it to get a rise.
Pretty much,
yes. It was.
I was letting them know where I stood.
Yeah.
You know, you want me to apologize for your feelings getting hurt?
No, I'm not going to
apologize for that stuff.
No, at the end of the day, I said in our last interview, if I say something that offends you, 90% of the time, it's your problem. It's not my problem. Yeah. All right. But that then puts people in the position of that's not my problem because I think I'm right and you're wrong. So it boils down to that. And at the end of the day, the internet's huge. Response videos back and forth, I think, are a fucking waste of time. Like, Jill did a response video about that thing on Sunday. I could have done a response video back again. Someone downloaded it for me. It's sitting there if I need it. You know, I don't see the point. It just accentuates, whatever the fucking word is, the problem.
Well, there's a point. I mean, obviously, there's a reason why people put them out there, and there's a reason why people watch them.
Entertainment is why I would watch them.
Drama, entertainment. You know, everybody likes reality TV. Everybody likes the dumpster fire. Everybody likes the conflict. You know, people loved the gladiator games when they were going on, where people were getting ripped and torn to pieces.
I actually watched the thing before, and well, it was an experiment to see. And when you put people on an individual basis, not that there was a number that had changed, but when you put them on an individual basis, people want to help other people. When you put people in a group mentality, they will go down the route of throw them off a cliff, you know, dump the slime on them. That's why you get the audiences in the game shows and all. They're all up for it. That's the modern gladiator warfare. But people as a group don't give two flying fucks. They disassociate themselves from the person.
Sure, they absolutely can. You know,
it's
but
just entertainment.
Like nobody I've ever seen goes, you know, that Darth Dawkins is a swell guy. But anytime that guy shows up to a stream, look at the viewership.
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying with Darth Dawkins.
Yeah.
I said nobody's ever come out and say, "Hey, I like that guy. He's a swell guy. You know what? He really has done something to add value to my life." But every time he shows up to a stream, the viewership skyrockets.
I can definitely I can state that. You know, look at my top 3 videos. You know, the drag just slipped in, I think, to the third top 3, but the 2 top are Darth Dawkins, because people want to watch the dumpster fire. I did back in the day as well. When I first came to the community, came across him. Darth Dawkins was just fun to listen to when you're going for a drive or something. You listen till it burns. It's entertainment. It's when it gets serious though, and it gets personal, that it becomes a problem. What's going on? Like, Darth Dawkins doesn't give a fuck. It's the world against him as it stands.
Sure.
But the personal nature of going after people on that side, and from people on that side going after you, I think that it's boiled down to not what you disagree with them and what they disagree with you on the post-traumatic stress and this, that, and the other. I personally think that they have been hurt by things that you have said, which they are. I know what I just said 2 minutes ago. They are semi entitled to that. You're allowed to have an opinion. Everyone has them.
Sure.
They have their
and you can blame whoever you want for how you feel.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's the truth.
You've done things against them. They feel hurt, and they are attacking back. And then you're attacking back, and then they're attacking back. And everybody's looking for this, that, and the other to find something to get at the other person. But it basically boils down to they don't like you, and you don't really like them. And the internet's that fucking huge.
I don't like them as people, though.
But the internet is that fucking huge, and no offense to Messenger, they're worried about him getting huge and big and all the rest of it. Has anyone looked at this man's stats on Social Blade? I felt the need to do that today. He's maybe gaining the guts of, I think 0.3 of a subscriber a day, something like that. You know, the man's not huge. He's fucking tiny. 40 videos. You've got 5,000 views. I've got more views of one video with Darth Dawkins than you've had in the entire 2 years that you've had your channel.
There you go.
You're a worry. They're
huge. Terrified of me, though.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. All right? And I'm not trying to be rude. Fucking John's insignificant. All right? John had a revolution from an epiphany from a god. Lots of crazy people have had epiphanies from God. All right? He says that his one has a physical body. Richard says that his are aliens. You know, but we put up with Richard. We put up with these other people. It boils down to they don't like you and you don't like them. And it's as simple as unsubscribe.
Well, it could be that simple, but people feel the need to have support for their feelings, so they feel validated. People who really are insecure require validation and affirmation. If you have self-confidence, self-worth, and self-esteem, you don't need affirmation and validation from other human beings because you have it from within. That's what they lack. And that might be a tough pill to swallow, but that's the truth.
Yeah, well, that's everybody at their own stages has to go through the tribalism and their groups and all that there, and we all find comfort from it. It takes time. At the end of the day, I'm 36. It is probably this last 5 or 6 years that I've become comfortable with myself. There's people in that group older, there's people in that group younger, but it's not an age thing, it's where you are in your life. And
Absolutely.
you're agreeing with all me, man. You're still making fucking review videos, still have them planned. You're still gonna keep it going.
I don't disagree with the points you're making about them, but does that make it so that I should not make response videos in regard to these things? There's obviously a purpose. There's obviously something that I'm doing it for a reason. Nobody asks what my reason is. They just assume it's everybody else's reason.
I asked your reason. Squeezing the orange. Explain squeezing the orange. All right, go on. Give the wider world.
There's two different things. Making a response video is dealing with lies and disingenuine content. And when I do the response videos to those two Raging Atheist videos, to those two Cirrus videos, you're going to see where I demonstrate how ignorant their perceptions are and why they're wrong. So that's going to occur. There's so much content. It's not even funny. They are so ignorant in terms of what they think they understand. And when I bring it out and you go push it up against psychology and clinical counseling, you'll be able to see that I'm right. They're not going to like those responses. When it comes down to when I'm dealing with somebody individually and I make a comment towards them or I make an assertion towards them personally, meaning I'm dealing with somebody, I'm not even going to say names, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But if I talk to somebody personally, if you're nice and kind to people, and if you're kind to people, they're kind back to you. If you're nice to people, they're nice back to you. If you're loving to people, it's easy to be those things when people are being those ways to you. As soon as confrontation comes in or conflict or criticism comes in, you see the true nature of what people are like. Once I started criticizing those individuals who are attempting to cast a negative character on me, you saw them all lose their shit and get up in a bunch over the past probably few months.
But you push it.
I let things go over a period of time. I let things go over a period of time.
But you do push things back. You have to admit that you do push things back. You do push things back to get a rise out of them. For whatever your reasons are behind it, which I asked you to explain squeezing the orange, still haven't yet. So explain, that is your reasoning.
I'm getting into it. So when you see an orange on the outside, the skin looks orange. You can't tell if it's ripe. You can't tell if it's rotten. You can't tell if it's sour or if it's actually sweet and a good orange. So until you squeeze that orange and see the juice that's on the inside of somebody, you don't see who their authentic self is. So if you squeeze people, then you kind of see how they react and respond to people.
Yes.
Do they get angry? Do they get bitter? Do they get resentful? Or they just go, you know what? I don't really place value on that, and they move on. And you actually see the character of people when you squeeze them. So I squeezed people so that I would get a fair view of what they're like and hopefully expose other people to their hypocrisy and their disingenuousness as well. And it's worked. It's worked.
Okay, in your opinion, it makes people show their true self. It brings people to this, that, and the other, okay? At the end of the day, that could be a slightly skewed experiment, because if you keep pushing someone into a corner, like if you have a lion and you corner him, he isn't going to be happy. No matter what you do to him, he's not going to be happy. He's in a corner. He's going to be on the defense. He's going to be angry. He's going to come back and you're going to see the worst, most violent part. You're not going to see the true person if you squeeze too hard. And if you squeeze an orange too hard, all you get is juice. You squeeze a person too hard, they're going to fight back.
But here's the thing. A person who's really healthy isn't going to care, isn't going to push back, isn't going to fight back in negative ways to where they misrepresent you and misrepresent your quotes and misrepresent your ideas. They won't do that. So when you sit there and say, hey, you'll see what the worst in somebody, I'm saying that worst in somebody is who they are. That worst in them is who they are.
Right. So accept that.
Go, oh, you pissed me off. Oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, you made me feel disrespected. No, your perception and value in what I said did that. It's not what I said. It's not what I did. It's how you placed value and importance on it. If you don't place value and importance on what people think, they'll never anger you. They'll never offend you. They'll never hurt you. They'll never frighten you. Because you don't place value and importance on what they think. That's the difference in terms of how I think versus how they think.
Exactly, and I would agree with you, and I think like that as well. I take very little, I don't give two flying fucks what people say. I speak my mind. I'm as blunt as fucking anything, right? And that's me.
I think you are.
Yeah, that's me, okay? But that doesn't always work with everybody.
Oh, it doesn't, because they're ignorant and they've been given
Nah, I
poor
wouldn't go so
coping
far and
skills to
say,
deal.
no, I wouldn't say they're ignorant, man. I know people who are friends of mine that I have discussed things with that, would be along the same lines as the coping mechanisms that you would put forward, right? And it just does not work for them. Just does not work.
Doesn't work for them because they don't understand. They're trying to
They're
act
just
something out rather than understand and have that true perspective. You can't tell people what to do. You have to teach them how to do it authentically.
I understand that. I'm friends with this guy, and we would talk and go in. It's not like I just said, "Oh, this is what I do," and left him at that. We would discuss these things. Listen to me, man. Look at me. I fucking never shut up. I went into detail, and it just didn't work because it's not him. So some of the things that you put forward, as we have discussed off screen before, if I had something and we went through it, it may work, but that's because I would agree with you that my brain is slightly similar to the way your brain has worked. I would not agree that there is people out there that is wired the same, that you can't say that this will work. I've got a cure, this will work. It's not. Everyone's different.
But you got to realize that I've dealt with hundreds of people that are different, and approaching them to where they're at and giving them the skills that they lack, that they have unhealthy coping skills with, you have to figure out what those things are. And you hear those things in terms of how they perceive and judge the world. Then you say, have you considered looking at it this way? The majority of the time they'll be like, no, I haven't. And then you go, do you see the value in that? And they'll say, yes, they do, or no, they don't. When you're talking to somebody, mentoring somebody, teaching somebody, it's important for them to sit there and say, I agree, I disagree. That makes sense. That's fucking stupid. So anybody who I worked with, whether it was professionally or personally in different, contexts, whether as a friend or as a therapist, it was always that nature of relationship. If you don't get something or you disagree, you have to push back. You have to sit there and say, I disagree with that and here's why. And then you have to be willing to say, hey, I'm curious about what you think in response. And when you have that back and forth dialogue where you're not trying to be right, but you're trying to help share information that you have that they may or may not, that's a healthy dialogue getting to truth. Trying to win the argument, which is what you see in most debates, is pointless.
Not what I did with him. Still didn't get it. Brain not wired that way.
But you may not have understood where he was at. You might not have the knowledge and experience to do what I could do with somebody like that if there was a circle of influence of trust that they had in me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that if he met you and we went through the same thing, because there's a foundation of what I said to him that you can cure him, that it doesn't work like that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter what you know if somebody doesn't give a shit about what you have.
But you making a statement to say that you could cure a friend of mine that I've known for fucking...
I said if. I said if that person believed or had trust that I had something that he didn't. That has to be there. That's what rapport building is in friendships, in relationships, in client-counselor relationship. Rapport is so huge. So if they don't sit there and believe and have hope that you have something that they don't, it doesn't matter what they share with you. If somebody goes into therapy, like they go into marriage counseling reluctant, do you think that marriage therapist can help repair that relationship? Absolutely not. No, rapport is the ultimate key. So when people try to cast disparity on me building rapport with people in disingenuous ways like they have, then I'm going to attack back, because otherwise I just let them spew this ignorant message of going, oh, don't trust Messenger. He's going to proselytize you. You have to become a Christian to get what he has to say.
Can I just point something out? Can I point something out just as you're talking right in the middle, man? You say you don't get wound up. You're getting wound up now. I can hear it in your voice. Now you're going to deny it.
Passionate.
You're passionate.
I'm not angry.
No, but you're getting wound up. I can hear it in your voice, and you can admit this or not, but I've said to you about the shit that you've started with Shay in the live chats before, and said to you about how it actually drags from the conversation that's going on in the video. Now, you've admitted that you've done it, and you've apologised for it. You will, and I'll say that he's apologised for it, but you've admitted you do it. It's not always squeezing the orange. It's a fuck you, it's a getting back. You do feel. You're not a Vulcan,
Well, even Vulcans are just repressed emotions anyway, so I don't believe in that. And I'm a human being, and I feel emotion like everybody else. I said, I don't allow my emotions to intensify into things like anger, depression, anxiety, fright, terror, because those things are unhealthy emotions and only valuable in life-threatening situations.
I'm not
if you put me in a if you put me in a life-threatening situation, I'll allow my shit to escalate, and I'll do it for value and purpose. But the majority of the time, we're in non-life-threatening situations, exhibiting intense life-threatening emotions. And it's unhealthy. We're going to behave poorly in those moments if we allow that.
I still think that you're just replacing the word passionate for wound up, and I wouldn't go as far as saying angry, but you know, you can clearly see it. I can see it here. I'm
very passionate and emotional about what I believe, and I will be harsh and direct with people when I believe that I'm not being understood and they're trying to misrepresent my position. Not saying you're doing that, but you see your audience right now.
I see who's in the audience. There's people from all walks of life. There's obviously people who don't really like you. There's people who are on the fence. And there's people who maybe haven't made up their mind or whatever. There's lots of different people. I'm famous, man. I have like 30 people watching live. Loads of people love me. You know, I've even got a wee art channel in there that has no idea what this is about at all.
Well, people are like, what did I just walk into?
That's what I'm here for. I'm here to build communities. As I say, there's people in the chat there that some people don't know. Nez Lover was popping in and out. She's a lady that doesn't show her face. All she shows is her hands. She paints. I go there for peace and quiet after fucking Jill streams, after round with people and things like that. I go and just chill out in Nez's. Brilliant. You know, I'm here to build communities, and anybody wants to come on and say their bit, they're more than welcome to come on. Knock is in there. Sure. Jay is in there. I haven't sent the invite to you, Jay. I will pass it on. But everybody is fucking welcome here to put their point across. And because of that, that doesn't make me Switzerland. It also doesn't make me part of a fucking team. Alright? I'm not John's team. I'll poke John and disagree with John as much as the next person. I'll also agree with him in certain things, as I will with Darth Dawkins. No, I'll not agree with a goddamn thing that man says. As I will with Richard. You know, I'll agree with things with Richard. I'll disagree with most of it. It doesn't mean that I'm on anybody's fucking team. Alright? Just... I'm getting wound up. I'm getting wound up.
I mean, it's just a term that you place on something. But the whole bottom line is, am I perfect? Nope. Not perfect.
No.
Not completely healthy.
I'd say you're a wee bit of a troll. When it comes to that group, now don't roll your eyes and look up in the fucking sky. Admit what you fucking do. You go in and you fucking troll.
I wasn't expecting to go there, so I'm like, okay.
You fucking do, man. You go in and you troll them to get a rise, to poke at them, to annoy them. Now, that's what everybody else calls it. What you call it is squeezing in the orange. Now, just because you name it something different doesn't justify it. It's still fucking trolling people.
Okay, so and I'm going to explain myself, and I'm not justifying. I'm giving explanation in moments. I don't go on Nakasuchi's channel. I can't remember the last time I went in his live stream, chatted, posted anything, any of those things. Same thing with Cyrus's channel. I hang out on a select few number of channels, and some of them, certain people show up, and then they make their shitty comments, and then I start squeezing them or trolling them, as you call it. So when somebody makes a shitty assertion, to draw shitty negative attention to me because they're insecure and they want to sit there and show that the big bad wolf is in the chat, then I'm going to push back. So if that is trolling, then I'm trolling. But while I'm doing, in my opinion, is, hey, I'm there, I'm commenting on a video, this is going on. Oh, by the way, Messenger tells us about cure PTSD. Oh, Messenger thinks he can do this. Oh, Messenger says that you can be instantly healed by the power of God because he can cure PTSD and he received visions. So they use all this ambiguous, very I don't know what the best word for it is, but they make assertions with no foundation or truth or anything that I've ever said.
Well, they can't say that because I've heard you say the post-traumatic stress disorder thing. We went through it before, cure and all that. We've been back and forth. Is it physical? Is it not physical? That's down to the whole brain wiring. I personally think they're coping mechanisms, but you did say it. Now, on Jay's stream that was on this morning, did I or did I not hear you? Now, I'm going to paraphrase because I was driving to work and getting into work. But did you, I'm not going to use the word admit, but did you say that when you said cure PTSD that you continued down that route with using the word cure because it wound them up, it annoyed them, it fucking trolled them? Didn't you, or did you not say that?
I said something to that effect.
Something to that effect. So you're basically admitting that you do not have a cure for PTSD. You're admitting that you said that. No, please let me finish. You don't have a cure for PTSD. You continue to say it in that way to get a rise at them and throw them.
It wasn't that I didn't have an effective and permanent treatment to PTSD. But when I used the word cure and they all lost their minds, I just kept it up. because I thought they were behaving poorly, and I wanted to see them continue to writhe in their ignorance.
So squeezing the orange.
Squeezing the orange, seeing who responded, rather than them going, why don't you tell us? Why don't you walk us through these things? Why don't you share some of these things? And I was like, hey, Dragnot, you seem to be a smart guy, and you seem to think you have your head on your shoulders. You say you've had some PTSD and some things you still suffer from. Why don't you come have a private conversation with me, and then you can come back and report to all your friends whether what I shared to you was valuable or invaluable. And he says, don't have time right now, I'm doing school, but I'll make time. Give me about a month. That was 9 months ago.
As you say, people are busy.
They are busy, but he never came back. He never made time. You have 112 waking hours a week. What do you make time
SJ,
for? Dragnot doesn't have a job.
SJ I would get back to her. She's not.
Dragnot doesn't have a job.
I told SJ I would get back to her. SJ is not important to me. Dragnot's at school. We're not going to drag him into it. He's not here.
He wasn't in school over the summer.
No, doesn't matter, man. People are busy. He has his family. He has other things going on. And as me and him had the discussion on Sunday, this internet thing that we do here, this is for fun. And as I point out, SJ, I offered she come back. She came back again. I said, yeah, I'll get back to you. I have no fucking time for her. She's not in my mind, so I don't think of her. And at the end of the day, you're probably not that important to Drag. He's not part of the Let's Kill Messenger group of people. So you're not important. So you're not important, so he doesn't think you. And if you had a bigger channel, he might come on. But then that's right, we discussed that earlier.
Well, he thinks of me because he brought me up in your stream. So he thinks of me, but you're right. I'm not
we were
important
discussing
enough on his radar.
tribalism. That was me that brought up the tribalism because of the situation that's going on at the minute. It's prevalent. It is prevalent. And it was a good man to have a chat with and an interlocutor that is well worth my time.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I thought it was a great conversation.
As do a lot of people.
but my response to that was he brought me up without you talking about me. He brought it up out of the blue. Me. The small guy with very little following, he brought up. So
we were talking about the topic. You can look back at it as well, man. And there was stuff that was said beforehand as well, because I told him I was going to do my rant. And my rant is very prevalent. And it's about you as well. And you know that. You know, that's what it was for.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? And that's why it was brought up. I brought it up. I screamed and shouted about it at the fucking start of the video. If you didn't hear it, go back and watch. You know?
Right. Was your rant about the response community, or was your rant about the cancel culture?
My rant is about people not having the balls to fucking come forward. My rant is about people talking about me behind my back. My rant was about people going and saying, oh, because this thing is happening, he must be team this. I'm team me. I'm team my daughter and team my wife. That's the only fucking team I'm part of. I do this for shits and giggles. That's why I platform pretty much anyone. Like Dave makes jokes. Just ask Robbie. He'll let you on. I'll fucking take anyone on. You know, I even was going to have Canadian Catholic on here next Tuesday. All right? Promised that. Waited a week. He fucked it up. I knew it would happen. And that's why I promised to tell him, because I knew that he wouldn't be able to keep it up. He wouldn't be able to not be a troll. But I'll take anyone on.
And you know who used to be just like that? Nakasuchi. His channel used to be open in the same way, to have the same conversations, like it or don't like it type stuff. Used to be the same.
Nakasuchi was a great channel and still has very good content on. I do prefer the open hangouts. That's just my personal opinion. I'm left. I'm clearly left, but sometimes it's just too much for me. You know, and you want entertainment. And to be honest, the same as I don't watch your fucking channel, because the reactions back and forth, it's not entertainment. You know, I watch what's entertaining to me. Obviously, you can learn things from it, but the point is it has to be entertaining.
Well, most of the drama that I get involved with is not on my own channel.
But every channel evolves, man. Every channel becomes something different. Nakasuchi has his base, and he's happy with his channel now. And fair play to him. He's done his bit. He changed his name. He came back, and he did really well. He's come back again. He's got his following, his group, his fans, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I wouldn't use the word cult leader.
No.
I'm only joking. But no, Nakasuchi will always be the raging atheist. And even today...
Today was the first time I've seen him actually rage in a long time.
But I like Raging Atheist. I love the Raging Atheist when he goes buck mad. That's it. As I said, the only thing I don't like is when he says peoples. Fucking annoys my tits when he says peoples.
Right?
But no, I'm not part of any fucking team. That's the point I'm trying to make. What annoyed me in that rant was the fact that people were fucking doing that sort of shit and planning shit behind my back against me. I don't see why anyone would plan any shit against me. Okay, I have my opinions. I'm fucking entitled to my fucking opinions. Alright? Everybody in this earth is a human. We're not fucking perfect. We all have our flaws. We all have our groups and our niches and our nicks and our things that we like. But fuck me, I sick and tired of that shit. I left fucking high school long ago. This is adult content. Where's the fucking teenagers trying to pick out who's the popular people?
Well, that's the thing is in some of these communities, it's if you're not with us, you're against us.
Point out to the popular girls in school, yous didn't run the school. That's it. You know, popular group does not mean that you're the fucking best group. Does not mean that you run the school. It's fucking.
I don't think Nakasuchi is responsible for that type of behavior, but I do think there's two specific individuals that run around like little carrier pigeons, stirring up shit in these communities.
I personally don't think Nakasuchi. No, I have not a bad thing to say about Nakasuchi.
Exactly.
I know we're bouncing back and forth here and all, and I'm winding them up or whatever, but genuinely, I have no problem with Nakasuchi. Not a single problem. I respect everything that man has done. He has done an awful lot from where he's done, and that video that he had an interview with a Christian channel. He didn't even promote that, didn't put it on his own channel or nothing. And he makes the effort to go and talk to whatever the Christian vlogger. I respect Nakasuchi for that, and that's something that I'm hoping to do myself is reach out to people. Full respect for him for doing that. There is some people that associate themselves with Nak that I don't have respect for, because I don't like talking about people behind their back. I go to their face and I fucking tell them. Was it yourself? No, it was Dave. I had a conversation with Dave. Something happened at my auntie's funeral, okay, that nobody wanted to talk about with a family member, and nobody wanted to talk about it because it was my auntie's funeral. So I waited to my daughter's birthday and took my father outside and spoke to him. He spoke to me for all of 30 seconds and then told me to shut my mouth because he didn't want to hear it. But that's my own father. And this is something that nobody in the family wanted to talk to him about. But I was like, it can't go unfucking talked about. It needs to be fucking talked about. So I went and talked to him about it. I'd fucking talk to anybody. This talking about people behind their back, I don't do it. I specifically made a comment in the room so he would fucking hear me so we could go outside and talk. I don't hide.
Sure. But you agree that there's disingenuous people doing shady shit behind closed doors, making up things that are not true to get attention and to get people to shift the way that they think about somebody.
Sorry, could you say that again? I was looking at the live chat.
No, I said you agree that there's people in the community doing shady shit in the dark, trying to influence people in negative ways that are lying and disingenuous to get people on board with what they believe and hold to be true.
I will agree with statements, and if anybody wants receipts, I'll give you receipts. I will agree that I can show people in this community making a conscious effort, not just against John, but to actually shut down other people's channels, to actually make an effort to drag them away. On at least three different people I could name that has been tried to be not deplatformed, but don't put them on your channel, don't do this, don't do that. And at the end of the day, each channel is individual. This is my channel. I do what the fuck I want on my channel. You go to Nock's channel, he does what the fuck he wants on yours. You could go to Messengers, but nobody does. He does what the fuck he wants on his. Every channel is individual. That's the whole fucking point of YouTube. And trying to turn a group of people against other people, turning fucking everybody against Steve McRae, turning everybody against Jill, turning everybody against Darth Dawkins, turning everybody against John. What the fuck's the point? The internet is massive. Just fucking unsubscribe. Stop looking.
And that's the point I make about people who are easily offended, easily wounded, easily frightened, and easily angered. That's the type of cancel culture, echo chamber communities that some people want, because they're that fucking fragile. That's just the truth of it. Like it, don't like it, that's the truth. People who are doing that shit need to look in the mirror, go get some fucking therapy or counseling for themselves, and fucking stay off trying to bring everybody else into their wallowing misery of an existence.
Right, don't release your response videos.
There's my strong response to those things.
Here's my response to you. Don't release your response videos, just let the fucking thing die.
Why?
Because you don't care what other people think about you.
It's not about what I care about what they think. It's about making them, bringing to light the truth of their viewpoints and how they misrepresented me disingenuously, so other people aren't getting sucked into those things, because they're leading people down a path of misery. And you're right. I could say, fuck them all. Let them all fall down. Let them all continue to be anxious and depressed and angry and bitter and suffering in the symptomology of their mental illness. You're right. I could say fuck you to that. But if there's an opportunity for me to go, hey, look how stupid it is to sit there and believe and fall into these things. Bet you didn't realize this was untrue what they said. Bet you didn't realize this was untrue. And doing it publicly, not privately, and then let people make their own decisions of going, you know what? Maybe the messenger does have some information that could benefit my life.
It's just
because even if it draws in a handful of people, to me, MathPig, it's worth it.
It's just perpetuating the fucking, like, I'll be honest, man, Godless Engineer used to follow him all the time. Forgot clean all about the man till he popped up on some fucking thing that was on today, somebody's feed or someone's channel today. Forgot clean all about Godless Engineer for like 6 or 7 months. I left, he was like 10,000, he's now at like 50,000 subscribers. Who knew? Man's popular. I think he's a fucking prick, says penis too much.
I don't know much about
it. Whatever. The point I'm trying to say is, yeah, unsubscribe. It's not important. Don't release your videos. They want to think they win. You want to think you win. Everybody wins if nobody continues.
But you think my intention is to win. My intention isn't to win.
No, your intention is to keep it going and to keep the digs going.
No, it isn't. I'm trying to clarify that. My intention is to reach the few people that might be able to get some help that they need. Either I point them in the right direction or I share some information that they hadn't considered before that's a benefit to their life. But it's not going to happen if I don't stand up and sit there and say, nope, not taking your shit. Nope, you can't make me go away. Not happening.
Right. Well, if they don't want you to go away, there's still the rest of the, there's still lots of other people to talk to. The internet's huge. And to be desperately honest, you ain't going to get a single person from Knock or Sirius or any of that group of people to come and listen to your stuff. Not a single one of them. That's a wasted audience.
Already have. You want to know how many people came to me from those communities and private emails and Discord?
I don't, because we're just perpetuating.
No, I'm not. My whole point isn't to perpetuate it. My point is to say, when you say you're not going to get those people are coming forward privately because they fear pushback or fallout from the group they were a part of. So
at the end of the day, I personally find that people in a group, regardless of what group, okay, I know people in the Stephen McRae group that have left it. I don't know about this other group that you're talking about. I don't know any that have left that, but I can show people from even growing up, whenever people are in a clique, eventually they catch on. If they have any sort of intelligence whatsoever, they catch on. And then they leave and they move out. All by the own. Because generally what I did growing up is if you're going to be an asshole or a dick or a wanker and scorn me, come back at me or talk about me, I cut you off. I ain't got no time for that bullshit my entire life. And I have then remade friends with them who have come back to me and went, oh fuck, I messed up. I know a friend wanted to go and hang out with that boy that I was mentioning earlier, same fella, way he went. Tried drugs for a while and all this here. Yeah, he came back to me because the guy that was giving him fucking drugs got these legal drugs and tested them all on him one night. This gets you up. Oh, he's fucked up here. This gets you down. He wasn't right for a week. And this is what I told him would happen. Smart people eventually catch on. So it's not worth your fucking time. Either. It's not worth your fucking time perpetuating the fight and keeping this culture going. I think it's I know this is what YouTube started as respawn videos underneath. I detest it. I've done one on this channel for AIG, and that was because I was bored and we wanted to stream and I wanted to hang with my friends. That's why I did it, because I wanted to hang out with my friends, not because I have a personal problem with Answers in Genesis, although it's Answers in Genesis.
Right. Like you and I can have a conversation just like we did this time, just like we did that time. Doesn't mean you have to be over on my channel watching content either.
I pop in every now and again to see them. I've even fucking said to you, man, you did live, you'd probably get more people in. Nobody wants to watch this fucking 2 hour long video without interaction with people, you know. But then I'm helping the enemy. We can't do that. It's just because I love graphs. I love the analytics of this shit. It's fun to play with. But nah, it's coming up in the hour. It's coming up in the hour. I have
Nakatsuchi says in the side chat, I should go into the after show. I think I am willing, but I am in a mood and I am not sure about it.
Nakatsuchi, please come in. Please come in.
Bring your authentic self, buddy. Come on.
Bring the raging atheist. I specifically said that I would give you an invite for this. All right. I've tried my best here to be as genuine and as MathPig as I can. Fuck, if you take it this way, take it that way. Think I'm Team John, think I'm not Team John. I'm Team me. All right, I'm making that statement. So, huh?
I said, I don't think you're Team John.
I thought you were going to say, I think I am Team John. I was going to kick you there. I haven't kicked you yet. I usually kick people, you know.
No, you do that in the after party, which is fun.
People are welcome in. Anybody wants to question John, bring it on. Bring it in, get it done, get it over and done with. I want this night to be an opportunity to get this all shit aired so it can fucking end. This channel's about community building, not community breaking down, not shutting people down. And if we can get Knock in here and other people, I want them to have the conversation so we can shut this shit down, alright? Point of fact, John's an asshole. Nearly got him to admit to being a troll earlier. He's admitted that saying the PTSD cure was to wind people up. What else can I do? Alright? Come in, get the questions going, and we'll try and end this shit tonight so we can just move the fuck on. I'm sick of listening to it. Stop listening to Steve McRae and all because of the non-sequitur stuff. A lot of other channels stop listening to because of that. I don't want to stop listening to fucking Nakatsuchi because of this shit. I don't want to stop listening to Sears because of this shit. I don't watch John like everybody else doesn't watch John, so that's alright. But come in. Let's get the fucking thing sorted.
Oh, that's awesome.
Alright, Nakatsuchi, you've got it in Discord. The invite's in Discord. Jump in whenever you want. If anyone else wants in, just ask. Healthy Heretic, you're a messenger friend. Do you want in to balance the team and I'll stand back and moderate or something?
Nakatsuchi says, Allie has some things to say tonight. We are streaming one last time on this. I thought the last stream and Thursday was the last stream we were going to have. Right. Here we are 2 streams later talking about you know who.
Okay, is there anyone there that has the link? I'll post the link. Give me a second. I'm going to post the link in the chat and then I'm going to end this stream. And anybody who wants to come in, Nakatsuchi and Healthy Heretic are getting preference because Healthy Heretic is John's and he isn't John's team. And he is, fuck him. He's on your streams all the time. He's your co-host. Shut up. And then we'll get Knock in and Doubting Thomas has shouted he wants in. So hold on. I'm going to put the link in the live chat. As I said, then people are going to get preference. Give me 1 second. John, I would say shill your channel, but as we've already discussed, it's shit, no one goes there, but try your best.
Everybody that has struggles with anything in life should check out Unplug from Worldly Thinking.
No, you shouldn't.
If you don't, you're not going to get the things that I teach. You're not going to understand where I'm coming from. There's amazing content that's in there. Patrick, the Healthy Heretic, is one of the receiving beneficiaries of those types of teachings. He lives it now. He shares it with others.
I didn't say prophesize. I said shout out your channel and move on. Come on.
That Messenger reveals, if you are not interested in the mainstream modern day Christian version of God, I offer a healthy and awesome perspective of the teachings of Jesus, viewpoint on God, why we're here, what's our purpose. Shh. If you're into the theistic,
going too long now. Now you're prophesizing. You said God twice. No, you said God twice. That's it. Right.
And Reality Unplugged. Reality Unplugged is going to be a fun, entertaining channel. It's going to have response videos, pushbacks, takedowns.
Right, you're shutting your mouth now. I'm muting you. Right, we'll see you in the after party. Back in about 10 minutes.